As you can see, I have successfully defrosted my water, at least near the well pump. Problem that I now have is that the meter froze and actually cracked, so water is coming out. So YouTube, you are in a treat. I am going to do a replacement on that, so we'll get a whole nother well repair video here in a few minutes. Today I am going to be replacing our well expansion tank and all of the plumbing that goes with it. So I got this, it's an 86-gallon tank from Tractor Supply. It's a county line, and I'm hoping that the larger tank will give us a lot more water pressure going out into our fields and other places where we have to run water to get it to animals. This system comes pre-pressured, so it's set for 40 psi, and we're going to have to adjust that pressure based on our relay switch to our pump, and I'll show you how we do all that as we get to the install. But the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put together all the plumbing, because as you can see, this is a very big, bulky tank, so I want to get everything put together ahead of time so that when I get it in there, it's ready to hook up. So the first thing we have here is the T that comes out of the expansion tank. The parts that are going to go on here are our relay, a release valve, and a pressure gauge. That's good for the relay. I'm using a paste, which slow setting, but it lubricates the threads as I screw them on, as well as waterproofs. And I feel like it's a better solution than the tape. It's a little easier than the tape. I'm just going to wipe it on the threads on the male side. It's not going to affect the valves any. And then we'll screw this into place. Take it off, make it nice and clean. Underneath your pressure gauge here, I'm going to have a special valve. This is a pressure release valve. This valve is required by code in a lot of states, so we're just going to go ahead and put it on. Same way we put on the other one. We're going to rub on our pipe sealant, and we're going to screw it into place. Make sure it's facing down, just like that. So we have our pressure release valve, and then we have a drain spigot. This is for draining the line for repairs. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing. And we'll screw this one on this side. So this is our setup so far. We have a 6-inch brass pipe. And I'm doing 6 inches because this pipe is where our relay switch goes, and I want to give it ample room up above the knobs and things that I may need to turn for repairs. And now we can attach our relay switch. Square D relay switch. Screws right on top here. And we'll screw on our relay switch. I'm not sure if it matters which way this goes, so I'm going to check my pump real quick. It appears this is best turned in that direction. There we go. Now on this back side here, we want to put a check valve. So I have a 1-inch check valve. The check valve has an arrow pointing this way. The water is going to be coming in this way. So that's the way we're going to put it on. Put on our plumber putty. Check valve may not be required by code, but it helps keep pressure off of your pump, which in turn increases your pump's life. So check valve is very important whether code requires it or not. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to build out this side, which is going to have our spigots on it and everything that comes off of this setup. One thing that you need to have is a shutoff valve in case something goes wrong in your house, so you can shut off your system. Clearly I don't have enough room. Well, I may have enough room to put the shutoff valve. It's got to turn this way. So I have a few different pieces here of piping. I'm going to take a piece of this pipe. I'm going to link it on. Keep myself enough room to be able to move that shutoff valve. Screw on my cup link. Now that gives me enough room to operate my shutoff valve comfortably. And we'll screw on our shutoff valve. Now when this turns, it's going to turn that way, so we don't need a whole lot of room over here. To do these faucets, I'm going to be splicing in a few T's into our setup here. There we have a faucet. Do the same thing on this side. There we have our spigots. And these simply attach right here. Also have a plug, which we're going to put in the end of the spigot for now, because we're not using it. This plug down here.